Good morning, church. Hope you're ready for a wonderful Wednesday devotion. I know we are. My name is Dave.
And I'm Kate.
We have had the pleasure of celebrating our very first wedding anniversary this past Sunday. So we are very excited. Every newlywed, and I'm sure every young lady's dream, is to spend their first anniversary in quarantine. So we're just amped for that. I feel good about it. I don't know how you feel about it. It's given us a lot of time and space, not apart from each other, but really forcing us to be with each other. Everything has been closed. Stores are closed. Church has been closed. We're both working from home. So we really are just kind of stuck together. There's nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. So it's actually been an awesome opportunity for us to really engage with each other 24/7 for 2 months. And we're not in a position where we have to run and hide from each other. But in the event we felt like that, that's too bad because we're in quarantine. So I don't know. How have you felt in quarantine, being stuck with me for 10 weeks?
I'm stuck with you, huh?
Yeah.
Honestly, for us, or for me at least, I feel like it's been a blessing in disguise because before all of this happened, we really didn't have that much time together. We would see each other for maybe a few hours after work every day.
Yeah.
And now we're literally having 24 hours together.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting and fun, and interesting again, going from almost no time together to all of this time together, literally in one night.
Yeah.
So it's been a growing process for both of us for a good way, or in a good way, because not many newlywed couples can say that they get to spend the last few months of the first year of their marriage together like this. So it's been definitely very good for our marriage.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's very easy to be negative and focus on what's wrong with life during this time, but we've been having a great time together, and God's been showing us a lot on what it means to be married, what it means to just be friends. I mean, you can love your spouse, but not like them very much, and we're fortunate to where that's not the case. We love each other, and we have a secret handshake, which we won't show you because it's a secret handshake. We finish each other's sandwiches, and sometimes sentences, which is cliche and cute and just perfect. So one thing in particular that God's been putting on my heart, and I think your heart as well, is just this really cliche and popular series of verses in Scripture. 1 Corinthians 13, I think every single piece of media that's come out of Hollywood that involves marriage quotes this scripture. It's very stereotypical. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. So that's 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8a, I guess. And again, I've heard this 1,000 times. Kate, I know you've heard it 1,000 times. Did we have this at our wedding?
We did, yes.
We were suckered into the culture too of having this read. When you hear this, depending on your stage of life, it really changes meaning. The first time I heard this, I don't know, I must have been like 5 years old. From hearing it as a kid, to hearing it as a young man, to someone who's engaged, to now someone who's married, and now someone who's married and in quarantine, each time this passage has totally evolved. And the first part that's evolved for me has been patience and kindness. Mm-hmm. So when we're stuck together for 10 weeks, I'll be honest, I haven't worn pants like 90% of the time, which I'm sure for you hasn't really been ideal. I skip showers every other day. I don't have to care very much, so I'm sure that tests your patience. But it's so easy to just get irritated. Again, we can't go shopping or go to work or get your hair cut. We're here together. So God has really showed us what it means to be patient in this time. And I know the second that things go back to normal, we won't soon forget what we've learned, and this is going to be a permanent change for me, just how I view patience and what it means for me to love and serve you in patience, and also to not get bent out of shape so easily because of stress or whatever. So patience for me was huge, and kindness as well. Our condo is not huge, so when I'm having a bad day at work, or Kate's having a bad day at work, we're only a room apart, so we both feel what the other person is going through, and it's so easy, again, to get bent out of shape and kind of lose it. So God has really showed us what kindness looks like in the spirit of love to reflect what Jesus has done for us on the cross. So, what do you think?
Going back to patience and kind of adding on to what Dave was saying, something that I've really noticed and has been interesting for me during all of this is because we have separate jobs, we don't get to see how the other one is professionally. So patience has been a huge thing, just understanding he's at work right now. So I can't just go in and hang out with him even though he's just in the office. I'm used to when we're home, we can just spend time together and hang out. But I have to understand he's in work mode right now. And the same goes for when I'm working.
Right.
And just having that understanding and balancing has been another thing of growth for us during all of this, which has been really, really cool, because without this quarantine, we wouldn't have that aspect of our relationship grow. So that's been cool.
Yeah, I think this 10 weeks has just been a concentration, I should say a full just concentration of growth. I think what we may have learned this over the course of another few months or maybe another year, but being forced together in this new way has showed us this in 10 short weeks. So patience and kindness has been really reinvented for us and what that looks like in our marriage. I think the other part that has been standing out to me has been keeping no record of wrongdoings or no record of wrongs. I'm totally guilty of this, whether it's in a professional context, in our marriage, messing around with my buddies. Oh, you messed this up, or, I leave the toilet seat up. It'd be so easy for Kate to say, hey, you left the toilet seat up again, or you left your coffee mug in the dish to soak again. She doesn't do that, and I think that that's not only, first of all, that can be really annoying, but by her not doing that, it shows a new level of God's love directly through her actions to me. So that's been really awesome. I could easily try and think I can find something wrong. I can't, because obviously she's the better looking and more perfect half. But just keeping that mindset of God doesn't keep wrongdoings in those records against us. We're covered in the blood of Christ. The very least we can do is try and mirror that in our marriage with each other. So Kate has had amazing grace. The scripture has reinforced that for me, and it really helps me understand what God's love truly is, especially in this time where there's just so much negativity and sickness. And you guys have all experienced it. We're all going through this together. God has just really used this time to shed some new light on some old scripture for me. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Anything else really sticking out to you?
I really like that the word used in this is perseveres, because this has been a test of perseverance and strength for our marriage. And that makes it sound like it's a really negative thing, but I actually think it's a really beautiful thing for us, that we are growing in our relationship with the Lord, but also persevering in our marriage. And by going through this list of patience and kindness and not dishonoring each other, not angering each other by
leaving the toilet seat up.
Anyway, so I just think this has been a really cool season of acting and living out this passage and persevering through these trials.
I agree. I really like the word perseverance, and that actually reminds me of another little passage about perseverance. This is in the book of Jimmy, or James, if you're into that. James 1, verses 2 through 5. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so you may be mature and complete, not lacking in anything. And I love that you pointed out perseverance, because as we go through the trials, our marriage isn't crazy. We're only a year in. We don't have a whole ton of crazy disagreements yet or fights or anything. We're still growing together, but this time of constant living together can cause friction. And Scripture is very specific in its wording, and it's always relevant. So that perseverance here in Corinthians and here in James helps me think, okay, by being kind and patient and not keeping any records of wrongs or trying to dishonor my wife, by living out 1 Corinthians 13, it helps me live out James 1, where by this perseverance and by this trial of our quarantine life together, our relationship and our marriage can grow to be mature and complete, and we're only going to enjoy each other more and more while we're together on this earth. So I love that you pointed out perseverance. I love that that's the word that was used throughout. It's just so relevant, and it really hits close to home for me. I love that. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that. Any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
I don't think so.
Perfect. There you have it. A professional married couple. If you need advice, hit us up. That's our interpretation of one of the most well-known scripture passages in the world. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Be blessed and be safe. Take care, guys.